Hey guys, it's me, your girl, Stasia Star. Welcome back to Stasia Star Daily, your go-to place for everything makeup, beauty, love, and relationships, the level up journey, and anything that maintains and pertains to the modern day woman. Now, I know I've been gone for like a couple of months, but to be honest, I've been traveling, I've been busy, I've been finding myself, and honestly, I've been heavily focused on my studies. For those of you who follow me and know about my content, I'm currently studying psychology with the future goal of being a civil rights and criminal law attorney. So I'm heavily in these books, in these theses, guys, and I'm trying my best to have a great GPA so that I can get into the law school of my dreams. So that is why I have been inconsistent with posting. But for 2026, I've told myself that I want to really devote more time to my content. I'm really in this transitional phase in my life where coming from a corporate job, being an entrepreneur, going back to school in my 30s, I really want to focus on doing things that I love, and content is one of those things. And also, don't come at my nails. This is the second time that I lost an entire nail. This is the second time that my pinky nail came off and is just now starting to grow back. So I literally am letting my nails grow out. I'm kind of afraid to go to the nail salon at this point because this is the second time I lost an entire nail. All right, so anyways, let's get into today's video. So for today's video, this is a video I wanted to do for a very long time. Now, anyone who knows me knows that Sex and the City is my favorite show of all time. And for those of you who are not familiar with the series, Sex and the City was a huge show on HBO in the 90s and early 2000s. It had 6 seasons, and it follows the lives of 4 best friends in Manhattan, New York in the 90s. It's Carrie Bradshaw, Charlotte, Miranda, and Samantha Jones. And one thing I love about Sex and the City is that it's a great show that shows different archetypes of women, different experiences of women, and how different women interact with one another and how different women experience men. So in today's video, we're going to focus on 2 of the main characters, Samantha Jones and Carrie Bradshaw, and we're going to do a deep analysis into some of their behaviors and how you can benefit from that. I do want to make a disclaimer. I make this video with absolutely no judgment, so please don't get in your feelings and feel like I'm trying to come at you because you know I love you anyways. Also, really quick, I am doing some restructuring and rebranding and reformatting of my company, rebelharp.com. So if anybody logs onto the website, I am offloading it for the next couple of weeks to do some maintenance and some updates and add new products and, just kind of judge it up as we prepare for the 2026 fiscal year. So if you are trying to order anything, unfortunately, the site will be down for the next couple of weeks. But if you do want to book a personal reading, you can always do so by sending me an email at rebelharpllc@gmail.com. But let's get back to the video. So the topic of today's video will be, you're not Samantha Jones. Stop playing it small when you really want more. This is going to be a grown woman conversation. If you are under the age of 18, please do not watch this video. If you are extremely right, extremely judgmental, extremely conservative, I'm probably not the content creator for you, and you're probably going to feel some type of way with this video. Also, to my religious baddies, we love the Lord over here, but I am a spiritualist. If you're incredibly religious, I don't need you in the comments trying to argue with me. You can have your beliefs and I can have mine as well. And once again, I'm probably not the content creator for you. In my platform, I want educated, respectful adult communication where multiple people of different walks of lives can have healthy debate and healthy banter and exchange ideas and information to come to, agreements, or rather to agree to disagree. But if you try to get buckwild in my comments, I'm blocking you. I'm blocking you, okay? Don't come over here with all of that. Don't come over here with all of that. Just don't. So let's get into the video. Stop pretending to be chill when your heart desires something more. Learn from Samantha Jones how to own your sexual freedom, value, and presence. Learn to do this without sacrificing yourself, your own pleasure, or hindering your self-worth for a man's validation. Point number 1, the Samantha Jones archetype, sexual confidence and empowerment. So for those of you who are not familiar with the show, Samantha Jones is the oldest member of the 4-person friend group. She is the owner of a PR marketing firm. She's fly, she's flashy, she's completely against marriage, and she's completely against kids when it comes to herself. She's a very loyal friend. She's very outspoken. She's very liberal. She's very free, and she does what she wants unapologetically. She also is the type of woman that has men literally eating out the palm of her hands, but she's not not committal. She doesn't want a relationship. Samantha values her personal autonomy and freedom beyond anything else. So she stands as a character that's very separate from her friends, not in the overly feminist, almost masculine way like Miranda, but in a more divine feminine, dark feminine way that she values herself more than a relationship. This can be seen in so many ways in the show. When the four girls are meeting at their favorite diner, Carrie's always complaining about a man who goes to her. Charlotte's always talking about how she wants to get married. Miranda's always berating men. And Samantha's like, I just had a really good night last night, but what I'm thinking about today is buying an Hermes bag. Samantha is literally the GOAT of not caring about men because she knows that she is the prize. Samantha embodies unapologetic confidence, sexual liberation, and a strong sense of self-identity and worth. Unlike most women, Samantha views sex as an act of personal pleasure. She does not see sex as a tool for commitment or male validation. She owns her body and her desires, putting her friends, herself, her endeavors, her goals, and her career first at all times. She explores sexuality unapologetically without shame, which allows her to live free. As one may agree, Samantha's high sense of self-autonomy and knowledge of her own personal worth greatly contrasts with societal expectations that link a woman's sexual activity to her morality and her value in society. An example from the show is that Samantha, throughout the course of the 6 seasons, has multiple partners. And I'm not saying to use Samantha as an example and for people to go out and just be intimate with everyone, because that is not healthy and that's not spiritually safe. But anytime that characters are created in an artistic way or on the big screen or in media, they're usually exaggerated. So Samantha, women who are like Samantha in everyday life are usually not going around sleeping with 40 men a week or what have you. Her energy was just overly exalted. So once again, throughout the show, Samantha dates multiple men openly, enjoys the sexual encounters and experiences she has with them, and she's not afraid to tell her friends or anyone about it. One thing that I think is really interesting about Samantha is that she never equates her sexual experiences as an obligation for commitment or loyalty from men. As stated before, Samantha operates from the act of self-pleasure, self-preservation. She puts herself on a pedestal. So Samantha looks at her interactions with men as, I'm doing this because I want to. I want to be intimate with him. I want to feel good. He's here to serve me. Essentially, Samantha understands any man she encounters would be lucky to be her husband, not the other way around. Okay? So that's a big thing to understand about Samantha's character, is that Samantha is self-serving. She does what she wants and she does it unapologetically. And she truly, deeply does not care about what her friends or what society has to say about it. Okay, guys, so now let's get into point number 2. Average woman's approach versus Samantha. Many women are conditioned to believe that sexual activity equals value. Virginity, modesty, or low body count, often framed as what makes a woman truly desirable. Unlike Samantha's archetype, many women subconsciously put men on a pedestal, treating them as if they are the prize. Their thought process is, I'd be lucky to be picked as his wife. Unfortunately, what this does is that this type of behavior, this type of constant equation to a woman's value being rooted in their sexual activity, actually causes issues when it comes to commitment with women. This creates a dynamic where many women give intimacy in hopes of gaining loyalty or commitment from the man that they're seeing. So many women think that once they lay in bed with a man, that love, commitment, and loyalty will follow. But I'm pretty sure all of us know that cannot be further from the truth. This can lead to heartbreak and confusion when a man does not reciprocate. Nonetheless, Samantha's mindset flips this. Samantha sees herself as the prize, not the pursuer in seeking validation. Her sex is a form of self-expression and pleasure. It's not a measure of her self-worth. Point number 3, sex, commitment, and the societal lie. For many years, society has misrepresented sex as a unifying act for monogamy. In reality, most men see sex as connection-free and pleasure-based. Many women disassociate from their sexual pleasure, subconsciously attaching emotions to intimacy. However, throughout the show, Samantha did not. She separated sex from loyalty, seeing intimacy as a personal choice, not as a binding contract. Let's get another example from the show. So in my opinion, and I say this completely without judgment, most women are Carrie Bradshaw. And Carrie is actually the main character of the show. The show is centered around Carrie, who is a sex columnist writing for a newspaper or magazine in Manhattan at the time. And it follows her relationships as far as dating, as well as her relationship with her three best friends. Carrie is what people would describe as a quintessential pick-me-sha. Okay, Carrie so badly wants to get picked to the point where sometimes she makes a fool out of herself. Carrie is a fool in love. She just wants to be loved. She just wants to be validated, but she gravitates towards men who disrespect her. And personally, in the past, when I was younger, I could probably resonate more with Carrie's energy, but now I think I fully am a Samantha Jones, and do with that with what you want to. The interesting thing is that Carrie plays like she's this cool, chill girl that just wants to go with the flow. You can clearly see this in her relationship with Mr. Big, who is the guy that she is madly in love with, that she's constantly chasing and pursuing. He gets married on her. He literally ignores her, just ducks her, ghosts her all the time. And she's just madly in love with him and chasing him for this validation.
Big arrived on the 9 p.m. flight. I was at his door by 10 to welcome him home in style.
Bonjour! Voilà le French hat, voilà le French fry.
And it doesn't stop there.
I have le Big Mac and the filet de fish.
What is all this?
It's an apology for being le bitch. Now, I've been thinking about this. We can make this work. We can, we'll do le phone sex. And if things get really bad, then I'll move to Paris for a while and write Le Sex in the City.
That would be great.
Which one?
I don't care. But you'd be moving to Paris for yourself, right? I mean, don't move for me.
Well, why would I move to Paris if it wasn't for you?
No, I'm just saying, I don't want you to uproot your life and expect anything.
I am such an idiot!
What the fuck?
I'm running around town in a beret, buying your greasy food, and you don't even care if I'm in your life.
Would you calm down?
No, you know what? I am so tired of calming down.
Look, I have to be in a relationship where if I have to go to Paris, I have to go to Paris.
Fine, go to Paris, and then what happens to us next year when you decide you just have to go to Brazil?
This isn't about us. This is about work.
No, this isn't about work. This is about us getting closer and you getting so freaked out that you have to put an ocean between us.
I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Why is it so hard for you to factor me into your life in any real way?
I guess old habits die hard.
Well, maybe I can't do this anymore.
I understand.
Yeah, I bet you do. You said you loved me.
I do.
And why does it hurt so fucking much?
Okay, so a lot of women are actually in that Carrie energy. They really want commitment. But Carrie's biggest mistake is that she would have sex with men. She would get intimate with men. And unlike Samantha, she wasn't doing it from a personal place. Of course, she got pleasure from it. But after these encounters, when a man would ghost her or would not give her connection or commitment, she would get completely depressed and devastated. Okay, and that's what I want women to take away from this video, is to understand what kind of woman they are and to be very careful about how they use their bodies. So essentially, Carrie's relationship with Mr. Big shows just how much women equate sex with love, which typically leads to heartbreak. On the other hand, Samantha's approach shows emotional detachment from outcomes. Point number 4. Sexual autonomy and placing value on yourself. Women should recognize that sexual autonomy is self-empowerment. Honestly, ladies, sexual autonomy is going to look different for every woman. Having sex should never be used as strategy in hopes to secure commitment. Stated before, a lot of women think a relationship is solidified with a man once she has sex with him. Women feel like if they have sex with a man, that their relationship, they should be locked in. But like I said before, men don't think like this. Men look at sex as pleasure-based and as connection-free. Men only commit when they want to. You would be foolish to think that if you are dating a guy who from the moment he meets you knows he doesn't want to be in a relationship with you, or he doesn't want to be in a relationship with anyone at the time, you'd be foolish to think that by having sex with him that he will be your boyfriend, or by holding out for sex for 3 or 4 months that he's all of a sudden gonna want to date you. Men know very early on what place you will have in their life. So stop living your life with all of these rules and all of these things, thinking that if you're the perfect girl, that he's going to marry you and commit to you, or if you are a little bit sexually free, that it's going to make him want you more, or that he's going to discard you. You really never know. If a man wants you, a man wants you. They don't care about your past. They don't care about your present. They're focused on having you in their lives in the future. Feel like Samantha is the only woman on the show who literally lives for herself. She doesn't center men. Men are centered around her. Men are like accessories for Samantha. She's so full with her career and her friendships and just living life and being happy that men only add fun, pleasure, spontaneity, experiences for her. She's not like Carrie or Charlotte or even Miranda that are constantly centered around men. Miranda is centered around men in a place of anger. She's a lawyer. She's a feminist. She wants to debate with men. She feels like men challenge her. Charlotte centers men is that she is a traditional Stepford wife, stay-at-home mom, and she feels like if she's not married and if she's not some stay-at-home wife or trad wife, that she has absolutely no value. So Charlotte's number one goal in life is to be a wife and a mother. And then last but not least, you have Carrie, who is heavily, chaotically, anxiously, dismissively centered around men. Carrie literally gets her validation. Okay, it's almost like Charlotte wants to be married due to tradition and due to wanting to have a certain place in society because that's where she comes from. Miranda is all about feminism. She's a lawyer, so she's all about the rights of women, wanting that equality. Carrie literally has an emotional void. Carrie does not feel good enough. She does not feel valuable enough. And she feels like when she has a man loving her, actually pursuing her, that she has some sort of value. So I think it's very interesting that the creators and writers of Sex and the City chose to make the most powerful woman on the show decentered from men and sexually liberated. Okay? Pay attention to that. All of this because it doesn't matter about what you do. Because in the real world, men will only pursue a woman, in my experience, in these 3 scenarios. 1, he loves you. Regardless of intimacy, whether you've slept with that man or you have not slept with that man, if a man loves you, nothing will keep him away from you. A man who loves you will always pursue you, will always show up for you, and will always be there to help you. A man who truly loves you from a healthy place, there is absolutely nothing anyone can do or say to keep him away from you. 2, he hasn't had sex with you yet, and he's hoping to, thus prompting him to pursue you or court you. So there's another time where a man will pursue you and show you effort and chase you. If he wants to have sex with you and he hasn't had sex with you yet, he might put in a little bit effort, a little more time and energy to see if he potentially can get the goodies. Now, they always say that men fall in love on accident. So a lot of the times, if you're not giving up the cookie jar, that actually is how you get commitment, right? And so I know it's very confusing because society is fucking confusing. The patriarchy is confusing, but this is another time where a man might actively pursue you because he is looking to get that, what I'm saying. And the last one, which I think is one of the funniest points, is point number 3. You have had sex with him, but you're generally not interested and you literally do not care about him. This motivates his ego to try to secure an attachment with you. So because so many other women in society are the type of women that attach emotion to everyone that they have sex with. And I'm not saying that this is a good thing or a bad thing. I do feel like sex is a sacred emotional act, but I do feel like sex is also a pleasureful act. And sometimes you can have fun with somebody that you don't necessarily see as being your future husband or your future wife. Okay, let's just be real. So because most women feel like the moment they're intimate with a man that he needs to be her husband, when a woman does not show that behavior, it literally has a man like, what? They literally will start thinking like, am I not good enough? Does she not like me? Is she not interested in me? Why doesn't she want to be my girlfriend? Because, you know, we did whatever we did and she's not rushing me for a commitment. That drives them crazy. Don't ask me how I know that. Anyways, this explains why women who play the chill girl, the let's go with the flow, that Carrie Bradshaw energy, often feel powerless. They attach outcomes in relationships to intimacy rather than their own agency. Point number 5, understanding your archetype, Carrie or Samantha. Samantha seeks freedom, financial security, abundance, self-expression, and sexual pleasure. Strategic, empowered, and follows her self-autonomy. Carrie seeks connection, attachment, and validation from men. Often plays chill or nonchalant in hopes of securing a commitment. Recognizing what type of woman you are, and keep in mind that you can be a combination of multiple different archetypes, but for video purposes, this is going to be very black and white. Recognizing what type of woman you are and what your core values and desires are very important in making informed decisions surrounding intimacy and relationships. At the core, Samantha is non-committal. Samantha does not want to get married. Samantha values her freedom, her friendships, and her business. Samantha is not the kind of woman that wants to settle down. She is the kind of woman that likes to have fun, that enjoys having sex, and that is how she navigates through life. She does not let society or her friends make her feel bad about that. She is fully confident. And because Samantha is so in alignment, is so in vibration with who she is, men are begging to be her husband throughout the whole entire show. Samantha owns her autonomy. And because of this knowledge of self, this divine feminine energy, this dark black cat way to her, she has men adorning her with jewels, wanting to take her on lavish vacations, begging her for a second date. But Samantha stays strong to herself. In one of the most famous episodes, she told the guy that she tried to have as a boyfriend, I love you, but I love me more.
I thought I could handle this, but I can't. I'm too old. I'm 37 after all.
I told you I'd do my best never to hurt you again, and I meant it.
Right. Your best.
Samantha, I love you.
I love you too, Richard. But I love me more.
And there, high above the casino, Samantha pulled her highest bet, her heart, off the table.
And she broke up with him. Samantha knew very early on in life that relationships were not for her, that she enjoyed the company and the sexual activity that she could experience with the man, but she did not want anything else. And she got very comfortable with that because she knew who she was. So whenever you are in vibration with who you are at your core, that's when you attract people into your life. And as stated, men didn't care that Samantha was out here doing what she was doing. They still saw her as classy, elegant, and powerful because that's how she carried herself. Just because Samantha had self-autonomy surrounding her sexual activity did not make her slutty. She was actually quite elegant. She was actually quite fabulous and very chic and very poised. On the other hand, we can probably say that Carrie was kind of a hot mess. She was always smoking her cigarette. I love her fashion sense. She will always be a fashion icon, but she was a mess. She was chaotic. She was erratic. Carrie actually wanted a commitment. She wanted a relationship. She wanted monogamy. Because she lacked the knowledge of self, because she needed validation from others, because she had a void within her self-worth, she equated if she was sexual with the man, that he would be in a relationship with her. She looked at Samantha with judgment. She played it chill and cool and coy whenever a guy she was dating was ghosting her. In addition, Carrie also rejected the healthy partner she had. If we talk about Aiden, who everyone believes that she should have married, the one who really loved her and accepted her for who she was, she cheated on him with Mr. Big, who was ignoring her for years throughout the seasons, and that made absolutely no sense. So Carrie was someone who was very disorganized. She was very anxious in her attachment style. She really wanted the validation from someone who was rejecting her. As a psychology student, I can definitely tell you that Carrie was somebody that had a deep rejection wound, probably from her childhood, right? What we can learn from Carrie is that she was not true to herself. To be honest, Carrie really should have been single for a long time. Carrie was someone who wanted monogamy. Unlike Samantha, she wanted to be married. She wanted to be in a committed relationship. But because of her inner wounds and her low self-esteem, she was always gravitating towards the wrong men. And every time she would sleep with the guy and it wouldn't work out, she would feel really, really insecure because she saw her value through her sexual activity. She did not value herself. Carrie is the kind of woman who only values their womb, who thinks that their essence and their purity and their value and how wonderful of a woman that they are is based off of their sexual behavior, the way they dress, their morals, if they're prudish, if they're too out there, if they have too many sexual partners. Carrie is that type of woman, and that was living within her subconsciously. Okay. Samantha, on the other hand, was the type of woman that valued herself from head to toe. Samantha was the woman that said, I have sex because I like it and I enjoy it. Not because I need you to validate me, not because I want you to be my man, not because I want you to call me back. I'm having sex with you because I'm a grown woman and this is what I want to do with you in the moment. Carrie had sex because she wanted intimacy. She wanted closeness. Of course, she wanted pleasure, but Carrie really wanted a relationship. And as stated, we could see the devastation that would happen once Carrie would sleep with somebody and become clingy and start complaining to her friends how a guy that she met just ignored her, because Carrie was not living in her truth. And that's why I say, ladies, it's very important to understand what type of woman you are. Do not try to play the Samantha game if you know you're really a woman that wants a committed connection. Okay. Now, with that being said, although Carrie and Samantha were very different, I want women to understand that Carrie and Samantha were best friends. This shows that you don't have to judge a woman for living differently than you. You don't need to judge your single friends who don't have kids, and you don't need to judge your friend who wants to get married as soon as she turns 18. You don't need to judge your friend who maybe is a little bit more sexually expressive or fluid, and you don't have to judge your friend who is a little bit prudish and is maybe saving it for marriage. What I love about Sex and the City, it shows how women from all different walks of life can be friends. Of course, there were times throughout the show where they butted heads and maybe didn't talk for a while, but because respect and love was always at the core of their relationships, they were always able to get over it. I feel like Samantha was always the voice of reason for Carrie, and I feel like Carrie was always just like the fun, crazy friend for Samantha. Overall, this shows that different ways of life can coexist as long as both women live in their truth. Last but not least, point 6. Practical advice. Owning your sexual experience. Sexual activity is sacred and valuable to you, which I do believe it should be for everybody, but that interpretation is just going to be different for all of us, okay? It's very reasonable that you place requirements on such acts. This could include financial stability, emotional maturity and security, intention, clarity, alignment with values, willingness to commit. To be honest, I would say this. If you are a woman who truly wants a commitment, because of the way that most men in society view sexuality in women, if you are a woman who knows you will be offended or you will be bothered by what people say about you if you exercise your sexual freedom, I would recommend that you are very cautious about who you sleep with. I would recommend that you don't sleep with a man until he gives you a commitment. You know, I'm not mad, at the ladies who aren't giving it up until marriage. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know, if your self-worth is so closely equated to your sexual history and behavior, you should be very careful about who you're sleeping with. Okay? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That is a healthy thing. Okay? And this is a lonely road. That's why I say you have to know what kind of woman you are. Samantha would not care at all if she had met a guy, was dating him for a couple of months, they were intimate, and one day the guy ghosts her and gets in a relationship. Samantha would probably be happy. I don't know if you guys remember the episode when the guy called Samantha and he was like, I'm leaving my wife. And she was like, no, please don't.
Hello.
It's over. I told my wife.
Who is this?
It's Ken.
Like, Samantha didn't want commitment, and she knew that about herself. But because so much women are the opposite, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, you have to be very careful about who you're being intimate with. If you look at your self-identity so closely to who you're having sex with and how they treat you. Do you understand what I'm saying? I know this topic is kind of confusing and maybe controversial, but I hope that I'm making sense in this video. So I would implore you not to give it up. I would implore you to be very strategic and to check the Carfax and to make sure a man commits to you before you do lay in bed with him. As I stated, throughout this video, I talk about the fact that many women feel like they can be casually dating a guy for 2 months and they have it in their mind once they lay down in bed with this man and give him the cookie that they're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend, where this man literally may have just been having fun with you, entertaining you, dating multiple other women at the same time, and is literally still seeing what's going on out there. If a man has not verbally communicated to you that, hey, we're in a relationship and I want to be together, understand that you and him having sex is just that, having sex. And if you in your mind equate your value as a woman, and if you equate your acts of sexuality to commitment, then you need to only be sleeping with men who commit to you. Okay? And I know there's going to be women that are going to say, but we have needs. Oh, do you? Oh, do you have needs? Okay. So just know what you're looking for in yourself. And it is going to be a lonely road, because once a lot of men know that you're not going to sleep with them until you have a commitment, they're probably going to ghost you, because most men are just looking for sex. As stated earlier in the video, many men fall in love on accident. In the pursuit of them trying to sleep with you, they realize, oh shoot, she's actually a cool girl. I actually missed her today. Damn, I wonder what so-and-so's doing. Let me see if she wants to go out for a bite of eat. Like, while they're trying to get in your pants, they literally fall in love with you, okay? Just through the emotional bond connection. So that is why I say, if you really want commitment, then be very careful about who you sleep with. But I also want to say, I know people who have slept with their husbands on the first date and they've been married for years. So you never really know, but to protect your heart, just be very cautious about what you're doing and make sure that you're comfortable when you do it. Remember, ladies, a man's behavior is all about his intention, the stage of life that he is in, and his feelings for you, not your self-worth. Being amazing does not guarantee commitment from a man that does not want to commit to you. Now, guys, let's get into our call of action activity for this video. Discover your sexual archetype and set boundaries. This activity, I want you guys to do a journal prompt. So step 1 will be the journal and reflect. And in this reflection, we're going to ask ourselves a few questions. Do you prioritize your sexual expression and freedom? Do you prioritize your autonomy? Or do you prioritize connection, validation, attachment, and commitment? When giving intimacy, what are you hoping, if anything, to receive in return? And how will you respond emotionally, spiritually, and energetically if things do not go your way? Step number 2, create a requirements list for men when giving intimacy, or women, because I know some of y'all be out here doing whatever you're doing. How you trying to hold to do your thing, do your thing. So for example, your requirements list can be, if you are Samantha Jones, if you are Samantha Jones type of woman, your requirements can be that you want to go on vacation and have a really nice weekend and have a really nice intimate encounter on a balcony. If you are a Samantha Jones kind of woman. Now, if you are Carrie Bradshaw, or you are a woman that wants commitment, then maybe these are some things that you want to think about. So Samantha Jones also liked men to kind of like lavish her with gifts and take her out. So maybe you're the kind of woman who gift giving is one of your major love languages. Okay. But if you're like a Carrie Bradshaw, or like I said, a woman who in the end wants a serious commitment or marriage, here are some things that you should think about as far as requirements. Commitment. If you want commitment, why are you giving up the booty cheeks when he hasn't committed to you? Listen to me, okay? Also, emotional availability. Is this man even emotionally available? Is he even ready for a relationship? Or are you talking to a brick wall? Okay. So, does he have respect for your boundaries and your value? Does he value you as a person? Or does he see you as a method to satisfy his physical desires? Okay, if you are wanting to be celibate, or you are not wanting to be intimate until commitment, or you're wanting to keep the cookies in the jar until marriage, does he respect that? And what are his views on intimacy? What does exclusivity mean to him? Does it mean that you guys aren't talking to anyone else, but you're still kind of seeing what's out there? Does it mean that you guys are only sleeping with one another? Does it mean that he's not sleeping with anyone else without protection? Okay, because some men out here feel like if you guys are exclusively dating, they can go still sleep with other women as long as they're using protection. Okay, guys. Cool. And lastly, another one is, how does his lifestyle align with your goals? You know, are you guys even equally yoked? Are you just caught up in the matrix? Are you caught up in the swag? Are you caught up in the vibration and the chemistry? You know that you want a white picket fence in the middle of the suburbs and 4 kids. And this is a man who doesn't want any children, and he wants to live in a high rise in the city. Okay, these are things you need to think about if you want commitment and if you value intimacy, and you know that you have a heavy emotional attachment to the men that you're intimate with in a way that it really strikes your self-worth and identity. Then you need to have a whole checklist before you get in bed with these men. Because once you get that thing, you might lose it, child. You might lose it. You might lose it. And so, guys, now let's get into the affirmation for today's video. I am the prize. My pleasure, my boundaries, and my choices are my own. I engage in intimacy unapologetically on my terms with individuals who honor my worth. Will not let society control me or determine how I see myself. Okay, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Like I said, I know this is going to be like a controversial video. I really hope that the red pillars don't come over here, because they're going to be in the comments like, oh my God, she's a harlot. She's a whore. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, mama. But always be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And sending you so much love and light and God's protection. And I hope to see you in the next video. God bless. And be nice in the comments. It's okay for everyone to have different opinions, but you don't have to attack the lifestyle or choices of others. All right? Bye.